Hello, all you amazing, highly sensitive, intuitive, empathic healers, helpers, and so on. So, today's topic is all about your environment. Last time I talked about how people can affect your energy, the way you and they transmit energies to one another. Today I'm going to talk about your environment and how it is very, very similar. So stay tuned to hear more. This is Anastasia. I used to be a physics professor specializing in vibrational and quantum physics. After recovering from a serious illness using energy healing on myself, the calling to heal became so strong that I had to quit my 40-year research career. I replaced my six-figure professor salary within 5 months using a simple but not easy 3-step system that I worked out to grow my healing practice. Now I help other healers grow their practices, whether they're just starting or already have a practice, with this same 3-step system. I'm all about helping you too. Listen in to learn more. Thank you so much for coming back. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about your environment, right? So there are several steps you can take to make sure that your environment is energetically supportive of you. But you can also do some things to make sure that you are protected from your environment. So let's say you've gone somewhere where you don't have a lot of control over what's going on around you. So here are a few steps that I took when I went traveling. So the first thing is about using what I would call an aura spray, one that contains essential oils, that's emulsified, and that you can spray and raise the frequency of your energy field and your environment. So if you're in a room that there's a lot of unpleasant feelings, a lot of hotel rooms will absorb the poopy energy of others and reflect it back onto you when you go in. So you can take your aura spray. See, I think I have one here. Okay, I don't see it right away, but I usually have one sitting here at my desk. And spray your aura down, and it helps clean off all that energy. It is really helpful, especially for your environment. The other thing that you can do with those sprays are you can spray the bed you're going to lay on. Let's say you've gone to a hotel room. You can spray the bed that you're going to lay on. You can spray the chair. You can even bring like a special cushion or a special cover that you have sprayed and put it on your seat to protect you from the energy of the people that have sat there before you. And I'm guessing is you may have not heard of these kinds of tips, but these sprays are especially powerful. Another thing that you can do, especially if you work with others, or you've picked up foreign objects all day long, is that you can wash your hands, right? And it's such a simple idea, and most of us don't do it. I think nowadays, with the awareness of viruses and COVID, we tend to wash our hands a lot more. But you can also use products that have got high frequency essential oils in them, as long as they don't have like that death energy that you'll find some places, is that you wash your hands really well, right? Wash them really well, and you can then put moisturizer or something with essential oils that will help raise the frequency of your hands and make sure that you clear that energy off. Another way to clear energy off is to clap, right? Remember when you've gone to a intense show, intense music, people clapping in the room helps raise the frequency of the room. So if your room if you don't feel good in it, you can walk around and clap, and it will help dissipate the energy that's in there. These are some tips you might not know. Another way to take care of foreign energy in rooms that you don't have control over, because the rooms that you have control over, you can straighten up, clean up, you can change their energy. There's all kinds of ways to do that, and I'll talk about that next time. But these are places where you don't have a lot of control. So the last tip that I'm going to talk about, the last tip that I'm going to talk about is putting roses in the corners of a room. So I have gone to meetings in which it's not the people in the room, it's the energy that the people that left in the room after they've been in there. And meeting rooms in hotels, hotel rooms, places like meeting halls, even churches, although churches are less of a problem, but and that's because of the incantations and lighting of candles and basically praying in the room has raised the frequency of the space. But there are some places, let's say a meeting room outside the church, let's say you've gone to Sunday school, and you're in a room that a lot of people, especially if they're upset or something, they leave that energy behind. And you can clear that energy up really, really quickly by popping imaginary roses in the corners. So there are 8 corners to every room, right? It's not just the long corners, it's the 3-dimensional corners, right? It's the 2 walls and the ceiling, or the 2 walls and the floor. So you have 8 corners in every room, so you pop a rose into each of those 8 corners, right? So I'm doing it in my office now. And then they then absorb the low frequency energy out of the room. Roses are very high frequency, so by imagining, I'm imagining pink ones right now, by imagining a loving energy, right? And gold roses will be healing energy, but by imagining a loving energy, a loving pink rose going into the corners of the room and absorbing out all of the low frequency emotions, even if you have a mess in the room, any way you have the frequency lowered in the room, you absorb all that out, and then you put a giant rose right smack dab in the middle, right? It's just suspended in air with its root going all the way down to the center of the earth. And you form lines of energy to all of the 8 roses, and it then pulls all of the poopy energy down deep into the earth. And I've gone into meeting rooms where people have walked in and I see them popping aspirin because they immediately get a headache. And I just pull all of that. I create the roses in the 4 corners. I pull all the energy down, right? Send it down through the central rose, the draining rose, down into the earth. And the air feels better. And people have walked up to me and said, Anastasia, what did you do to this room? It feels so much better. I can breathe again, right? That's because we helped release the trapped energy, the low frequency emotions, the disorder, the chaos that a lot of times happens in these meeting rooms, right? So we want to make sure that wherever we go to visit, you can protect yourself and you can transform the space. There are a couple more little things that might be helpful for you. One of them is and you can get this in any hotel, basically, you take a paper cup or a glass, and you empty half of a salt shaker into it. Fill it up about halfway full of water. I suggest using a paper cup, right? Something disposable. and you place this near you somewhere. Right? You have it near you somewhere. You can even get a little lid for it so somebody doesn't take it away, and put a straw and make it look like it's yours. And when people are talking or there's interactions going on, you take the lid off and you imagine this as your energy toilet. Right? So you're allowing the salt water to absorb that low frequency energy in the room. You'll notice that the room will change dramatically. This is only good. A small cup will only help a small space. If you have more space that you need, like if I have people over, I'll put a big bowl of salt water. Better water without salt without silicon dioxide, and it's not Epsom salts, it's not smelling salts, it is table salt. So the reason why table salt works so well is that it has a very loose bond and it absorbs very low frequency energy, right? It has a very loose bond. It has one of the lowest frequency vibrations of any material that we know of on Earth, right? If you look at an oxide, your oxides will vibrate on an arbitrary scale of wave numbers. Your oxides will vibrate at anywhere between 300 and 800 wave numbers, and salt vibrates anywhere between 50 and 150. So this is the lowest frequency energy that a crystal has in it for all of the bonds. The salt bonds are very loose, and it allows them to absorb that low frequency energy really easily. Putting it in salt water creates an energy toilet. And now, when you're done with your salt water, whether it's in your home or sitting next to you at a meeting or you set it up in a hotel room, make sure you take that salt water and flush it down the toilet, right? Because if you put it in your kitchen sink or your bathroom sink, your sink will then absorb some of that low frequency energy, and you don't want it there, right? So now you just take it and flush it down the toilet, because after all, you pee and poo in the toilet, and you're just sending away all of that reject energy. And then wash out whatever you're using. If it's paper, you can throw it out, right? A paper cup or a styrofoam cup. And if you're using a regular bowl, make sure that that particular bowl is only used as your energy toilet, right? You don't want to eat a salad out of it. I went to the dollar store and I bought some cheap dollar bowls. I bought 3 of them. And at any one time, I can put these salty water bowls anywhere in the house to help clean it out. And last tip, I promise, is getting some really high quality incense and carrying it through the room. You can also use sage. This is a process called smudging. And when you send out your high quality or high frequency plant energy into the room, it helps clear everything out really quickly. And you can smudge around windows, smudge around doors, and set up incense so it spreads through the house. Okay, I hope this was helpful. So today's tips were all about making sure wherever you go, you control the energy that's reaching you. So when you go places, you have the option of using things like aura sprays or sprays made out of essential oils. You have the option of using incense. You have the option of using salt water, basically salt water toilets to help remove the energy out of a room. And last, you can use the rose technique where you put the roses in the 8 corners of the room and allow it to drain. so you can take care of places that you don't have control over, the furniture arrangement, how things are put in the room, and all of that. So I hope this was helpful today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Thank you so much for taking valuable time out of your day to listen in. If you found this message helpful, please help spread the word by giving the broadcast a thumbs up or a 5-star rating. Share it with your friends and be sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on. For further training on healing and growing your healing business using my 3-step system, go to www.highpaidhealers.com. And I'll see you in the next video.